From the halls of power in Brussels to the tense border between Israel and Lebanon, tonight's events underscore a world grappling with uncertainty and the looming threat of conflict. We'll break down the latest developments, examine the key players, and explore the potential consequences. We're also following breaking news out of South Korea, where the country's leader faces an impeachment vote amidst a backdrop of political turmoil. And finally, a story that reminds us that even in times of global crisis, human error and its consequences can strike close to home. For the first time since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has set foot in Brussels, the heart of the European Union. The visit, shrouded in controversy and heavy with symbolism, comes at a time of heightened tensions between Russia and the West. Lavrov's presence is a stark reminder of the deep divisions that have emerged since the annexation of Crimea and the ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine. European leaders have condemned Russia's actions, imposing sanctions and bolstering NATO's presence in Eastern Europe. Lavrov, for his part, has accused the West of hypocrisy and double standards, pointing to NATO expansion and Western intervention in other parts of the world. The meeting is expected to be tense, with little common ground expected on key issues such as Ukraine, Syria, and arms control. The outcome of this meeting could have significant implications for the future of EU-Russia relations, which have been strained to their breaking point. Chapter 3. South Korea's Political Earthquake. A political earthquake is shaking South Korea, with President Yoon Suk-yeol facing an impeachment vote that could see him removed from office. This unprecedented situation has gripped the nation, drawing intense scrutiny from both domestic and international observers. The political landscape is in turmoil, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The crisis stems from a series of scandals and controversies that have plagued Yoon's presidency, including allegations of corruption, abuse of power, and economic mismanagement. These scandals have not only tarnished Yoon's image, but have also eroded public trust in the government. The allegations range from accepting bribes to manipulating government contracts, creating a web of deceit that has ensnared many of Yoon's closest allies. Yoon's approval ratings have plummeted to record lows, fueling public anger and calls for his resignation. The public's discontent is palpable, with many citizens feeling betrayed by a leader they once trusted. Polls indicate that a significant majority of the population supports the impeachment, reflecting widespread dissatisfaction with Yoon's leadership. In a controversial move, Yoon declared martial law in several cities, citing national security concerns and the need to quell unrest. This drastic measure has been met with fierce opposition, as many see it as an overreach of executive power. The sight of soldiers patrolling the streets has only intensified the public's fear and anger, leading to even larger protests. The move has been widely condemned by opposition leaders and human rights groups as an attempt to stifle dissent and consolidate power. Critics argue that Yoon is using the guise of national security to suppress political opposition and maintain his grip on power. Human rights organizations have raised alarms about potential abuses and the erosion of democratic freedoms. Massive protests have erupted across the country, with demonstrators demanding Yoon's resignation and an end to what they see as authoritarian rule. The streets are filled with chants for democracy and justice as people from all walks of life come together to voice their discontent. The protests have been largely peaceful, but tensions remain high as the nation awaits the outcome of the impeachment vote. The impeachment vote, scheduled for later this week, is expected to be close, with both sides of the political divide locked in a fierce battle for votes. Lawmakers are under immense pressure, with their decisions likely to shape the future of South Korea's political landscape. The debate in Parliament has been heated, reflecting the deep divisions within the country. The outcome of the vote will have profound implications for South Korea's democracy and its future direction. Whether Yoon is impeached or survives the vote, the political aftershocks will be felt for years to come. The nation stands at a crossroads, with its democratic principles and future stability hanging in the balance. Chapter 4. A Mother's Outrage. In a story that highlights the potential for even seemingly innocuous products to go terribly wrong, a mother is suing toy giant Mattel over a misprinted doll that she says caused emotional distress to her young daughter. The incident has not only shocked the family, but also ignited a broader conversation about the safety and quality control of children's toys. Holly Ricketson from California, purchased what she thought was an ordinary Barbie doll for her daughter's birthday. The doll was meant to be a special gift, a cherished addition to her daughter's collection of toys. However, upon closer inspection, Ricketson was horrified to discover that the doll's dress was printed with images that she describes as pornographic and highly inappropriate for children. The shocking discovery left her in disbelief and anger, questioning how such a product could ever reach the shelves. Ricketson claims that her daughter was traumatized by the discovery and has suffered nightmares and anxiety ever since. The young girl, who once loved playing with her dolls, now associates them with fear and distress, a heartbreaking turn of events for any parent to witness. She is suing Mattel for negligence, product liability, and emotional distress, seeking unspecified damages. The legal battle is not just about compensation, but also about holding the company accountable for the oversight that led to this distressing situation. Mattel has issued a statement expressing regret for the incident, attributing it to a printing error at a third-party manufacturing facility. The company has emphasized that they are taking the matter seriously and are committed to ensuring such errors do not happen in the future. The company has recalled the affected batch of dolls and launched an internal investigation into how the misprint occurred. They are working closely with the third-party manufacturer to identify the root cause and implement stricter quality control measures. The case has sparked outrage among parents and raised questions about quality control and the responsibility of toy manufacturers to ensure the safety and appropriateness of their products. Parents are now more vigilant, demanding higher standards and transparency from companies that produce children's toys. This incident serves as a stark reminder of the importance of rigorous quality checks and the potential consequences when they are overlooked. Experts in child psychology and consumer safety have weighed in on the issue, emphasizing the need for stringent regulations and oversight in the toy industry. They argue that while mistakes can happen, the impact on children can be profound and long-lasting, making it imperative for companies to prioritize safety above all else. As the legal proceedings continue, Holly Ricketson and other concerned parents hope that this case will lead to meaningful changes in the industry, ensuring that no other child has to go through a similar experience. For now, they remain vigilant, advocating for safer toys and a more accountable manufacturing process. Chapter 5: Drone Strike Tragedy in Ethiopia. Tragedy struck the Amhara region of Ethiopia last Tuesday night when an 83-year-old mother was killed in a drone attack. The incident occurred in a quiet residential neighborhood where families were settling in for the night, unaware of the impending disaster. The drone strike not only took the life of this elderly woman, but also shattered the sense of security in the community. The attack, which targeted a residential area, also left several other civilians injured, including children. Hospitals in the region have been overwhelmed with the influx of injured individuals, many of whom are in critical condition. The local medical facilities, already strained by the ongoing conflict, are struggling to provide adequate care to the victims. The Ethiopian government has confirmed the drone strike but claims that it was targeting a group of rebel fighters operating in the area. Officials have stated that the operation was part of a broader strategy to combat insurgent activities that have been destabilizing the region. However, the government's narrative has been met with skepticism and criticism. However, eyewitnesses and human rights groups dispute this claim, stating that the drone struck a civilian home with no military presence nearby. Residents of the area have recounted harrowing tales of the attack, describing how the drone appeared suddenly and unleashed devastation without warning. Human rights organizations have called for accountability and transparency in the investigation. The incident has sparked outrage and condemnation from the international community, with calls for an independent investigation into the circumstances surrounding the attack. Various international bodies and foreign governments have expressed their concern over the use of drones in populated areas and the potential for civilian casualties. Amnesty International has accused the Ethiopian government of using excessive force and targeting civilians in its ongoing conflict with rebel groups in the Tigray and Amhara regions. The organization has documented numerous instances of human rights violations and has urged the international community to take action to protect civilians. The United Nations has expressed deep concern over the escalating violence and the growing number of civilian casualties. UN officials have called for an immediate ceasefire and the initiation of peace talks to address the root causes of the conflict. They have also emphasized the need for humanitarian aid to reach the affected areas. This latest tragedy underscores the devastating human cost of the conflict in Ethiopia and the urgent need for a peaceful resolution. The ongoing violence has displaced thousands of people, destroyed homes, and torn families apart. It is a stark reminder of the importance of finding a lasting solution to bring peace and stability to the region. Outro: stay informed, stay vigilant. As we've seen tonight, the world remains a volatile and unpredictable place. From the high-stakes diplomacy in Brussels, to the escalating tensions in the Middle East, and the political turmoil in South Korea, the events of the day remind us of the interconnectedness of our world and the importance of staying informed. We'll continue to monitor these developing stories and bring you the latest updates as they happen. Thank you for joining us. Stay informed and stay safe. We'll be back with more updates soon. The situation on the Israel-Lebanon border has reached a fever pitch, with Israeli troops placed on high alert for a possible incursion into Lebanon. This follows a series of escalating events including rocket fire from Lebanon into Israel and Israeli airstrikes. The situation on the Israel-Lebanon border has reached a fever pitch, with Israeli troops placed on high alert for a possible incursion into Lebanon. This follows a series of escalating events including rocket fire from Lebanon into Israel and Israeli airstrikes on suspected Hezbollah targets. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed a strong response to any further attacks, while Hezbollah, the powerful Iranian-backed Shiite group, has promised retaliation for Israeli actions. Adding to the tension are the words of Israel's military chief, Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi, who warned that the Israeli Defense Forces are prepared for a ground offensive into Lebanon if necessary. The United States and France have stepped up diplomatic efforts to prevent a further escalation of violence. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has spoken with both Israeli and Lebanese officials, urging restraint and a de-escalation of tensions. France, which has historical ties to Lebanon, has also been actively engaged in mediation efforts. The situation remains highly volatile, with the potential for miscalculation and a wider conflict looming large.